Chapter 711, Willingly Surrender. The loud, deafening explosion had masked over Tai Yitan's own voice. What? What is happening? Everyone could not help but stare at Chen Xiaobei with their jaw dropped to the ground. A powerful bolt of lightning shot out from the wrath bolt ring that was in Chen's palm. The lightning spread out in a flash, like a dragon claw, and then it came together to form a huge lightning ball that was as tall as Chen Xiaobei himself. Effortlessly, Chen Xiaobei lifted the ball of crackling sparks. The unstable form of its nature had sent a few lighting sparks around the vicinity, causing the space around him to gain static charge. The dirt on the ground, the sand, and even the trees had started to shake violently due to the static charge. It was as if Chen Xiaobei had summoned the manifestation of a storm itself. Chen Xiaobei stood there, with the ball of lightning resting on the palm of his hands, like a god of lightning. If that was not the epitome of epicness, nothing would be. How is that possible? That. Arg. Faction leader Chen's lightning bolt is brighter, louder, stronger. It's completely superior. Beyond human capabilities. What an amazing feat! Faction leader Chen did not need the use of true qi nor the use of other charms or magic. That's a lightning that could only be wielded by a man in the celestial cultivation. Celestial cultivation? That's just not possible. How could only achieve that level at such a young age? The entire Jianghe would be rattled just by that fact alone. Either way, leader Chen's lightning summoning skill is superior. That's right. Like a god. Hai Linbei and his followers were left speechless. Neither one of them could accept the fact that Chen Xiaobei was the superior one amongst them. After all, they were making fun of Chen Xiaobei just a few minutes ago. After witnessing Chen's ability, Hai Linbei and the rest that were with him had a 180-degree change of attitude towards Chen. From teasing and mocking, they were now in fear and in awe. The worst part was that they know that Chen Xiaobei would still remember of the scorn they had towards him. With that thought in mind, their hearts skipped a beat, fearing that Chen Xiaobei might want to enact revenge. Whoa! I never knew that Saifu was ever that strong. Feng Qingyang stood there, spellbound as he muttered, "Those lightning bolts, they are not the same as the one in the sky. It is much more violent, stronger than any lightning storm. To think that Saifu could conjure lightning out of thin air. What an amazing person Saifu is! Next, we shall witness how Tai Yitan performs." All eyes turned towards the man called Tai Yitan. Now that everyone has seen what Chen Xiaobei was capable of, it was time for Tai Yitan to prove he was the better man. The anticipation in the air grew stronger as the audience grew anxious to see their young master from Miaozhong react to the situation. Being the target of the concentrated glare, Tai Yitan sighed loudly. "I give up." After uttering the three disappointing words, he dispelled the lightning in his hands and hung his head in shame. Did I hear it wrong? Did he just say he gave up? Everyone gasped in shock. How could this be? Tai Yitan, the #1 genius in all of China, giving up. It is the divine lightning against a lightning summoning skill. How could Tai Yitan lose? Earlier, Tai Yitan's dominant presence could put everyone in shock. Considering that his aura was so powerful, how was it possible that he could not come up with the courage to face Chen Xiaobei's attack? Oh man! This is too awkward to watch. Leader Chen Xiaobei had agreed to have face-off with Tai Yitan. Looks like Tai Yitan gave up even before he took one hit. Wait. Let's not jump to conclusions that quickly. Tai Yitan's divine lightning could kill every single person right here. However, faction leader Chen's lightning was far stronger than his. It could be disastrous. That must be it. Everyone threw their own speculation into the pot. Despite having different opinions, they all shared one similarity: Tai Yitan was strong but Chen Xiaobei was stronger. There was no other option for Tai Yitan besides giving up. However, being the man he was, Tai Yitan did not put up a scene. He did not give any excuse for his failure, nor did he try to scheme a comeback. The man accepted his failure with dignity and stood tall. That sort of willingness to accept one's defeat was rare and was much better than those people who put on a fake smile and plot for revenge. Be it person or a ghost, Chen Xiaobei had the ability to see into someone clearly. As such, Chen Xiaobei had no plans to seek further actions against Tai Yitan. However, the other two guys, those two must be punished. Chen Xiaobei grinned and dispelled the lightning that was in his hands. He then turned to Tang Niu and said, "Hey big guy, you still think I'm faking it? Wah no. No 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 no. You've misheard me. It's not faking cool. It's freaking cool." Tang Niu immediately shook his head nervously as he tried to deny and cover up his mistake. The young master of his faction had given up, what more could he do? "What do you have to say about this match? What can you say? Except for fake flattery," said Chen Xiaobei. "No. No," Tang Niu continued to shake his head in denial. "Faction leader Chen's lightning skill is the best. It's the truth. The master amongst masters. It's a privilege to have you contesting with my young master. Ho ho ho. Your attitude seems to be improving. All right. I'm in a good mood now. We are no longer in any disagreement. Thank you. Thank you. Leader Chen's lesson will be remembered for the rest of my life." Tang Niu nodded his head as he thanked Chen. The thing was, his face was practically glowing with red underneath his cloak. The kind of red when one eats the world's hottest chili. Chen Xiaobei turned away from him and walked towards Hai Lin Bei. The crowd of people immediately shrunk to a corner, like a tiger cornering a mouse. "Are you Hai Lin Bei, the man who was ranked 9th in the previous Heroes of War leaderboard?" asked Chen Xiaobei coolly. I'm nothing as the name implies. Leader Chen Xiaobei, you may just address this lowly man as Little Hai, said Hai Lin Bei like a grandson to his grandfather. Even if there were hundreds of followers, Hai Lin Bei would not dare to put on a tough act in front of Chen. From Chen's perspective, the man was nothing but a joke. "Is that right? Little Hai was it? My car, from the factory. You ordered someone to stage a crash, didn't you?" Chen Xiaobei interrogated. "Yes. Little Hai is wrong. Little Hai will now make it right." With sweat dripping down from his forehead, Hai Lin Bei pulled out his cell phone and made a call. "Faction leader Chen. It is done. Little Hai will guarantee you that the road will never have a traffic," said Hai Lin Bei after he was done with his cell phone. "Is that right? Well, since it is done, won't think much about. However," said Chen. Hai Lin Bei was only about to relax when all his muscle tensed up again. "I seemingly recalled something back there. You and your lot was mocking me. I cannot allow that to pass." "What do you think I should do?" said Chen, toneless. Hai Lin Bei started to tremble. Blood was drained from his face as he asked with his voice shaking violently, "Shall I have my men and I to slap ourselves?" Chen Xiaobei immediately grinned and said, "Oh. You would do that? Well, here I am thinking that you all should just apologize. But, since you insist on doing that, please do so. Don't forget to make it sincere. I don't like dishonest men." Chen Xiaobei shrugged then and crossed his arms, waiting for Hai Lin Bei to execute his own punishment. At that moment, when Hai Lin Bei turned around to face his own men, they were all frowning and some had even cried. Why would Hai Lin Bei offer a punishment like that? However, what had been said cannot be retracted. Without delay, they started to raise their own hand and slapped themselves across the face. As they did, they were scolding, and even cursing their own stupid self for even trying to belittle Chen Xiaobei. Ding! At that moment, Chen's cell phone rang. It was a notification from the Red Envelope Group. Chapter 712, I will take full responsibility. You guys can leave if there is nothing else for you to do here. After looking at his cell phone, Chen Xiaobei realized that there were a lot of group members tagging his name in the group chat. Feeling curious, Chen Xiaobei brought Feng Qingyang back to the faction immediately. Meanwhile, there was nothing Tai Yitan could do to defeat Chen Xiaobei. Hence, he bought his people left the place as well. Lastly, Hai Linbei carried the heavily injured Tang Yunshan and rushed to the nearest hospital. Upon returning to Beixian faction, Chen Xiaobei tapped into the red envelope chat group promptly. Yan Wang at Chen Xiaobei. Come out now. Representing the Food Hunter Association, I hereby summon God Chen. Zhu Beiji at Chen Xiaobei. Where are you? Come online now. I want to try the delicacy that you gave to Monkey King. Sheneng, God Chen. Come online. I heard that delicacy was decorated with golden stuff. I'm literally salivating over it. Bull Demon King, come online now. God Chen. I'm losing my mind soon. I want to have a taste of it now. Damn. This bunch of foodies really live up to their reputation. For Yan Wang, he was crazy about the spicy sticks. For Zhu Beiji, other than being a pervert, he could die for good anytime. For Sheneng, he went crazy over spicy sticks after he had a taste of it. For Bull Demon King, he did not go crazy over good food. However, thanks to Monkey King's favor of promoting the delicacy, Bull Demon King was now in love with the tiramisu. The mysterious food that was garnished with gold flakes that I sent to Monkey King earlier was the tiramisu that I acquire on Paradise Island. My bro, Monkey King is too damn reliable. I'm glad that he helped me promote this food after he stomached it. Now, I can use the tiramisu to exchange for a few red envelopes, said Chen Xiaobei with a grin on his face. Chen Xiaobei then entered the chat group. Chen Xiaobei, recently, I discovered a new delicacy called Golden Tiramisu. Yan Wang, such a weird name. Zhu Beiji, the name is not important. I want to have a taste of it right now. Sheneng, quick! 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 I can't wait any longer. Bull Demon King, what a bunch of thick-skinned fellas. Do you guys really think that God Chen could create all those delicacies out of nothing? You guys have to give him something good if you want to have a taste of that legendary delicacy. Zhu Beiji, no. No problem. Of course, we won't take it for free. Sheneng, that's right. We are more than willing to give something to God Chen in return. Something good. Damn. Bull Demon King is the real bro. I didn't even ask for something in return. I can't believe that he took the initiative to do it for me. He is really quite a good guy. Bull Demon King and Monkey King are good brothers. I guess Monkey King did me a favor by asking Bull Demon King to make sure that no one would take me for granted. Bull Demon King, God Chen. Everyone made it clear that they would give you something in return. Tell us now. What do you want? Chen Xiaobei, haha. You guys are too nice. If that's the case, I would like to have some spiritual water from Zhu Beiji. As for Yan Wang, I would like you to help me to upgrade my Nether Spirit Battle Scouter. And for Sheneng. Zhang Xia, hold on right there. F***CK. Why is he here? Something bad is going to happen to me soon. Zhang Xia, earlier, the primeval Lord of Heaven mentioned that items from Heavenly Realm are not allowed to be sent to the human realm. This is to maintain the balance of the human realm. Have all of you forgotten about that? Zhu Beiji, no. We still remember that. How can we forget about that? We will definitely follow the order gave out by the primeval Lord of Heaven. Zhang Xia, okay. Good. The human realm is a fragile place. Items from the heavenly realm are powerful enough to turn that place into a hell hole. Who is going to bear the consequences if the human realm is destroyed? Sheneng, that's right. Zhang Xia is right. We are just joking. Trust me, we are not going to send him any red envelope. Zhang Xia, the primeval Lord of Heaven is not trying to make it difficult for all of you. If there is something big happening in the group, feel free to flood the group with red envelopes. One's luck will determine the number of red envelope one can acquire. Zhu Beiji, this is great. Primordial Lord of Heaven is really wise. Zhang Zia, of course. If God Chen is willing to use his merit points to pay for the items from the heavenly realm, that is actually fine by me and Primordial Lord of Heaven. From here, you can see that the Primordial Lord of Heaven had granted you special treatment. It is unprecedented. Tisk. Clearly, the Primordial Lord of Heaven is trying to make my life difficult. He should feel embarrassed for saying something like that. I have never seen someone with such a thick face. It was after all a dirty trick. Initially, Chen Xiaobei could use a few pieces of cake to exchange for red envelopes. Seconds later, Zhang Zia came into the group and interrupted his plan. If merit points were the only way to acquire red envelopes, he would need tons of merit point to get what he wanted. Back to serious business. I know how to deal with your evil plan. Last time, I used spicy sticks to exchange for God's Eyes talisman. I can just ask them to send me a personal package. And there is nothing you can do about it. Ding! Zhang Zia at Chen Xiaobei. Shidi, I have something to inform you. Chen Xiaobei, what kind of thing? Zhang Zia, according to the red envelope record, at Qun Li Yan sent you a God's Eyes talisman 3 days ago. Shit! He found out about it. My idea is not going to work anymore. Zhang Zia, other than that, I have the book of merit points with me. I can see that Qun Li Yan's merit point did not increase after he gave you the God's Eyes talisman. What he did had already violated the law of heaven. After discussing with Jade Emperor, we have decided to demote him. He will serve as a good example for all the deities in heaven. Chen Xiaobei, what? Qun Li Yan was demoted? Zhang Zia, calm down. Considering that you are the disciple of the Prime of Tongtian, I will not punish you. Still, I hope that you will never do such a thing again. If not, you are going to bring trouble to others. F***ck. This F***ing bitch. All these dirty tricks. Considering that he knew about it some time ago, now, he just did it on purpose to embarrass me in the group. And he chose to punish Qun Li Yan but not me. He wants all the group members to think that I took advantage of my special position to bring trouble to others. Other than embarrassing me, he criticized my Saifu for being biased siding with me but not others. I can't take it anymore. Chen Xiania, regarding this matter, I'm the one that asked Qun Li Yan to do it for me. He is not wrong. I'm the one that broke the law of heaven. Zhang Zia, Shidi Chen, you are an adult now. You should think before you talk. By taking all the blame, you are going to be punished severely. Have you thought about that? Chen Xiaobei, I will take all the consequences. I, Chen Xiaobei, am a real man. Zhang Zia, haha. As the disciple of the Prime of Tongtian, you are pretty daring. If you are willing to take the blame, we will recover Qian Lion's position in heaven. However, I have to remind you that you are not going to like the punishment. Chen Xiaobei, just spill it. Zhang Zia, I'm going to use the book of merit points to remove all your merit points. Are you sure you want to take this punishment? Chen Xiaobei, just do it. I will not take back my words. Sooner or later, you will pay me double the merit points that you have taken away from me. Chapter 713, The Bits and Pieces of the Four World. Zhang Zia, what? You want me to pay you double? You are really good at daydreaming. Zhang Zia, I'm representing the Primordial Lord of Heaven to make sure everyone obeys the law. The law is fair and the decree from the Primordial of Heaven is absolute. Once the punishment is set in stone, making any changes to it is simply impossible. If not, simply changing the rule is basically equivalent to slapping the face of Primordial Lord of Heaven. Upon listening to that, most of the group members could not help but begin to talk Chen Xiaobai out of it. Yan Wang, God Chen. You have to think about it carefully. This time, Primordial Lord of Heaven is the one that gave the decree. No one else can do anything about it once his decree is executed. Xiao Tian Chuan, that's right. God Chen. It's not an easy task to earn all those merit points. It's not a good feeling when all your hard-earned merit points are gone. Chang'e, though the law was broken, it's not entirely your fault. Punishment like this is just too severe for one to bear. Chen Xiaobai, you guys can stop trying to talk me out of it. I have made up my mind. If this is the rule set by the Primordial Lord of Heaven, it is only fair for me to be punished since I'm the one that broke it. Qun Li Yan was involved in this trouble because he did this to help me. Watching him being punished makes me feel really bad. Zhang Zia, since you have made up your mind, I'm going to use the Book of Merit Points to remove all your merit points. Ding! Divine Punishment. 108,000,0 merit points had been deducted from you. Current merit points, 0, charm, 0 luck, 0. Within seconds, all of Chen Xiaobai's merit points turned to naught. One could see that Zhang Zia was pleased that he finally got to punish Chen Xiaobai. By now, there must a grin on Zhang Zia's face. Perhaps even the Primordial Lord of Heaven was laughing at Chen Xiaobai's misfortune as well. Earlier, Chen Xiaobai had landed slaps upon slaps on Chanism's face. It was only natural for them to feel happy about it when they managed to make Chen Xiaobai pay for what he did to them. To their surprise, Chen Xiaobai was not affected by this punishment. This was not the first time his merit points were deducted to 0. Considering that he had grown so much, his emotions were very stable. This is only temporary. Though Primordial Lord of Heaven is a saint, the thing that he did to me is not right. He who is unjust will be doomed to destruction. The reason he set a rule like this is for his own revenge. Someday, he will definitely pay for what he did to me. Zhang Zia at Chen Xiaobai, I have removed all your merit points since you are willing to take the blame. Qun Li Yan's position in heaven will be restored immediately. With that, I hope everyone will see this as a good example and never attempt to break any laws. Monkey King, my Xiaobai brother is a true man. It's not easy to accept such severe punishment willingly. You deserve all the compliments in this world. Menpo, that's right. I admire him for taking up the responsibility. Good one. Little White Dragon, God Chen deserves to be called the disciple of the prime of Tongtian. Heroic. Dominating. I have to give him a like. Wei Xiaobao, support God Chen. Princess Iron Fan, support God Chen. All of a sudden, a lot of group members stepped up to support Chen Xiaobai. Clearly, everyone knew what was actually going on. Though they were required to obey the Primordial Lord of Heaven's decree, the truth would not stop them from supporting Chen Xiaobai. People know that I did not make any mistake. Although I was punished severely, I have managed to make everyone side with me. Maybe I will be able to score something huge if any unforeseen circumstances happen to me. Ding! Monkey King, brother. Don't be sad. You did well in this matter. I believe there is still justice. Just wait for the right time. Now, you have received something that is more important than merit points, respect and trust from us. You still have a long way to go. Do not mind this temporary loss. Chen Xiaobai, haha. Brother. You don't have to console me. We share the exact same thoughts. Actually, I'm not even upset. Monkey King, you are worthy to be called the disciple of the prime of Tongtian. Such an open heart. Considering that matter like this does not affect you at all, I'm pretty sure your future is as bright as the sun in the sky. Chen Xiaobai, stop praising me. I'm literally blushing right now. Let's change the topic. Monkey King, what do you want to talk about? Chen Xiaobai, I'm going to return the Jinggu Bang to you first. There's no way I can use it anyway. After sending this message, Chen Xiaobei sent the Jinggu Bang back to Monkey King. Monkey King, got it. Just ask from me if you need it again in the future. You have Sister Nuo watching your back. So, Zhang Zia shouldn't be your concern. Chen Xiaobei, understood. Speaking of Zhang Zia, where is that dog, Lei Zhenzi? Normally, Lei Zhenzi would add on to all those harsh words that Zhang Zia used to insult Chen Xiaobei. Noticing that Lei Zhenzi was not here, Chen Xiaobei was actually not used to it. Monkey King, Lei Zhenzi? That guy went to play as a hero. Chen Xiaobei, a hero? What is going on? Monkey King, 2 days ago, an assignment was given to all the deities in the heavenly realm. A lot of deities took the assignment and traveled to the void to hunt down all those demonic creatures. By doing that, they will be awarded with some rewards. Chen Xiaobei, he is really trying really hard to act like a hero. Monkey King, that's right. I wouldn't have let him act like a hero if I didn't lend the Jinggu Bang to you. Chen Xiaobei, oh right. Brother. This place, the void, what is this place actually? My Saifu went there quite some ago. Until now, he has still not returned. Monkey King, it all starts from when Pangu created heaven and earth. After he created heaven and earth, his flesh turned into the four-world land. It was really wide and there was no end to it. After that, the first calamity happened. Dragon, Phoenix, and Kiran fought among each other. Enrahu was like a vulture waiting to get something good off them. He wanted to be a saint, but the first deist, Hongdiao, did not allow him to do so. With hatred slowly accumulating in his heart, he drained hundreds and thousands of pools of spiritual qi from the west side of the world to attempt to defeat the first deist. In the end, he was killed by Diao Hong. Monkey King, that particular calamity lasted for quite a long time. It was really bad. Because of Rahu's irresponsible behavior, the foundation of the foreworld was deeply hurt. After that, the second calamity happened. The battle between the witch tribe and the monster tribe. The divine pillar finally crumbled. There were ruptures formed on heaven and earth. Although Sister Nuo managed to come in time to fix the rupture, the foundation of the foreworld was still beyond fixing. Monkey King, then, during the calamity, Jiism and Chanism were fighting among each other. The Prime of Tongtian set up his God-Killer formation to attack the four saints. The members of Jiism set up 1,000 Gods formation to deal with God-Killer formation. The destructive power of this war was far bigger than the two previous calamities. Monkey King, in the end, the foreworld could not take those kinds of damages anymore and it collapsed. It became the space that we know of today. Chen Xiaobei, are you trying to say that space is the byproduct of the foreworld and Earth is just a small piece of it? Monkey King, that's right. Everything in space was once used to be part of the foreworld. Chen Xiaobei, in other words, there are actually other living beings living on a different planet. Monkey King, there is. But, it's really far from Earth. It is impossible for you to cross paths with them. Chen Xiaobei, how about the underworld and heavenly realms? Are these two realms within the space? Chapter 714, The Prime of Tongtian's Calculation. Monkey King, the heaven and earth interdimensional realm is within the region of space but it is above the level of Earth. Chen Xiaobei, what about the actual coordinate? Monkey King, after the third catastrophe, the first deist opened up the 33 heavens with the largest 4 fragments in space and used them to create a square piece of land. Monkey King, you have the heavenly realm, the human realm, the underworld realm, and the heaven and earth interdimensional realm, which is the fourth realm. It is the only realm that allows you to travel between the 3 realms. Chen Xiaobei, so. If I understand what you are saying, that means you could take that route to reach the human realm. Monkey King, hold your horses there. Deities are strong. So strong that they could destroy the stars and swallow the sun. If the deities have the freedom to descend to the human realm, Earth would have been destroyed long ago. Monkey King, to protect humanity, the first deist Hongdiao sealed the pathway. Only special occasions allow a deity to descend to the human realm. For example, when a deity is tasked with a mission. Chen Xiaobei, I see. Question. Is there anyone in the human realm that has risen to the heavens? Monkey King, ah. There is. When your own strength has reached a point when you could destroy the stars, the divine retribution will automatically be triggered. As long as you can survive that trial, you will have access to the door of longevity and gain the status of a deity. Chen Xiaobei, that's just incredible. The power to destroy stars. Swallow the sun. What an unbelievable strength. Monkey King, haha, Earth to Brother Chen, please come back to reality. That a dream that is too far from your own goal. Let's get back to the main topic. Chen Xiaobei, right. After talking for so long, I still have no idea what is up with the void. Monkey King, the void is a special place on Earth. It existed even during the first calamity. Legend has it that the end of the void was connected to the demon realm, where Rahu's tribe lived. Chen, Rahu? Is he the one that was adamant and blatantly saying he wanted to kill the first deist? Monkey King, yes. That's him. The saints predicted that in this calamity, Rahu's tribe will be making a comeback. That is why, not just the prime of Tongtian, but all of the other saints will be going to the edge of the void to seal the path that is connected to the demon realm. Monkey King, once the sealing is done, it will prevent the coming of a disaster. When the time comes, the divine retribution would grant countless merit points. Even the saints themselves would be fighting for that. Chen Xiaobei, I see. I still have some questions though. Last time, when my Saifu came back from the void, he gave me a divine skill called the Primordial Witch King Combat Enhancement Training Manual. Is this coincidence? Does it have anything to do with the witch tribe? Or even the demon tribe? Monkey King, hard to tell. However, after the second calamity, the witch tribe fell and the survivors fled to the void and lived there. However, there was no word that anyone had ever been to the edge of the void. Monkey King, back when Lei Zhenzi and his merry friends went to finish their mission, it was only the surface of the void. It was known that the witch tribe lived in the center of the void. The prime of Tongtian might have found the skill there when he discovered the trails of the witch tribe. Chen Xiaobei, I understand now. Thank you so much. Ah! I wish my Saifu could be back soon. I wonder what kind of present would he give me this time. Monkey King, ugh. I'm jealous. What a lucky guy to have the prime of Tongtian as a Saifu. The man is the most generous saint ever in existence. The present he gives out would be a bomb. Chen Xiaobei, oh man. You've said it. I'm getting excited by the minute. Monkey King, I feel the same way as well. When the prime of Tongtian comes back, tell him about the incident with Zhang Xia. I'm sure he will do something to defend you. Chen Xiaobei, you really think so? In that case, I'd really like Saifu to stand up for me. Monkey King, there's just one thing. The prime of Tongtian is in the void. There's just no way for you to communicate with him. Chen Xiaobei, hee hee. Worry not. There's a way. In fact, I'll go now to talk to my Saifu. I will have Zhang Xia pay double of what he has done to me. Monkey King, yes. That's the spirit. Off you go. I'll wait here for your return to beat that pretty boy's face. Chen Xiaobei, hee hee, leave it to me. I won't disappoint you. Chen Xiaobei exited the chat group and headed to the training room. To communicate with the prime of Tongtian, Chen Xiaobei would require to train with the scripture of heaven and earth until he reached a stable status. Coincidentally, Chen Xiaobei needed to train to surpass his cultivation level. It was a perfect two birds, one stone situation. Chen Xiaobei withdrew the green jade gourd and drank a mouthful of spiritual qi. With a clear mind, he started to train the skill and successfully begun to make a breakthrough. However, at that moment, he was still unable to link to the prime of Tongtian just yet. There was still some time needed. The training had Chen Xiaobei spend more than half a day, which, in the meantime, the prime of Tongtian would think of Chen Xiaobei. It was something that could cross his mind and was nothing to worry about. The training session was successful and Chen Xiaobei gained a steady increase in his cultivation. In the early morning of the next day, Chen Xiaobei proceeded to try and communicate with the prime of Tongtian using the divine link. Xiaobei. A familiar voice rung in Chen Xiaobei's head. In the next second, a silhouette formed slowly and materialized into a handsome daoist. The man looked like he was 27 years old, with a handsome, dignified posture. His nose was held high and his lips were just the right thickness. Though an aura of freedom and playfulness emanated between his eyebrows, still the light of wisdom could be seen hiding behind his eyes. Saifu. You're here. Chen Xiaobei was excited. As long as he could talk to the prime of Tongtian, everything would be settled just right. I have felt some changes in your destiny and have tried to communicate with you. What a coincidence that you are training your cultivation, said the prime of Tongtian calmly. Saifu is right. It's Zhang Xia. He has wronged me and had all my merit points reduced to 0. Chen Xiaobei then proceeded to explain the entire situation to the prime of Tongtian. With affirmation, the prime of Tongtian replied, I understand what you have done and I am extremely proud of you. You have brought great honor to my name. However, this grudge shall never go unreturned. What does Saifu have in mind to help? Chen Xiaobei asked. Simple, said the prime of Tongtian casually. You see, it's a mutual relationship. You needed the items from the heavenly realm. They, as in the deities in the heavenly realm, would need to get something from your world. If you sever this relationship, there will only be a complete cutout on supplies. Hey? I don't understand. The deities needing something from me? That's just impossible. Curious, Chen Xiaobei continued, the things that I could procure are daily items that could be found on earth. It's nothing important. It's not something that I could use as leverage. What you need to do now is to continue on your cultivation. If my prediction is right, soon, Zhang Xia will approach. No. He will beg you for something, said the prime of Tongtian with confidence, as if he had everything under his control. Yes, Saifu. Your words give me nothing but assurance, said Chen Xiaobei as he bowed to his Saifu. He smiled happily knowing that his Saifu would be true to his words. When Chen Xiaobei raised his head, he saw the prime of Tongtian looking puzzled. Xiaobei, the reason of your destiny being altered, is not because of Zhang Xia. You might have peeked into the divine secret. Hey? Divine secret? I would never. Chen Xiaobei thought hard and could not recall he had ever done something of that sort. It's been a long time since I have used the 8 diagram of godly prediction. Think harder. Chen Xiaobei thought harder and realization struck. Saifu once said that the calamity is a divine secret. If one reveal it to other before the coming of this calamity, the person will be punished by divine punishment. I've heard everything that Monkey King has said. Chapter 715, Achieve True Nirvana Cultivation. That's right. During times like this, you have to be extra careful. The calamity that I told you about earlier might come anytime soon. No way. If I'm about to face the calamity, what about my brother, Monkey King? You don't have to worry about Wukong. His Saifu is Bodhi and Shimei Nuo will look after him. Thousands of years ago, he messed up the entire heaven and he turned out fine in the end. Other than that, he didn't reveal anything important in the upcoming calamity. He should be fine. Important thing about the calamity? What could that be? Asked Chen Xiaobei in a curious manner. This is a divine secret. That is the reason that triggered all those 3 calamities. Now, you still have no idea what was the reason behind the wars. The first calamity was the war between the dragon, Phoenix, and Kirin. The second calamity was the war between Witch Tribe and Monster Tribe. The third calamity was the war between Jiism and Chanism. The important thing that the Prime of Tongtian mentioned earlier was the reason why all these three wars were triggered. Despite his curiosity, Chen Xiaobei knew that this was not the right time for him to peek into it. You don't have to think too much for now. What you should do right now is take good care of yourself. The calamity that you are going to face is not too serious nor light. However, if you don't take it seriously, the consequences is simply unimaginable. However, if you can find the woman that is destined to be with you, all those dangers that you are about to face will be nullified. Woman? Who is she? Do you still remember the superfated relationship that Moon Lord mentioned to you earlier? Superfated relationship? Sister Goddess? Of course, I remember that. However, I have no idea on where to look for her. The Moon Lord once mentioned that the lady was going to bring fortune to Chen Xiaobei. A superfated relationship like that would only happen to one couple every few hundred years. Liu Bang and Liu Ji was a good example. Once they got together, she and Liu Bang started their journey to rule the world. Upon finding the sister goddess, she would help Chen Xiaobei to survive the calamity. The problem was Chen Xiaobei did not know where to look for her. Moon Lord told you that you have to put in effort to look for her, right? You are lucky if you manage to locate her. Consider that you would be in grave danger if you fail to find her. This. Chen Xiaobei was startled and at a loss in this matter. More than anyone else, his desire of looking this woman was really strong. However, looking for someone with no name among hundreds of millions of people was harder than ascending to heaven. Regarding this matter, you have to let it flow naturally. However, you have to speed up the process of looking for the other woman. Saifu, are you talking about Su Daji? Some time ago, the Prime of Tongtian once told him through a dream that if he injected true qi into her chest, a flaming red lotus would surface. Unfortunately, there was literally no hint to look for this woman. Looking for her was going to be a difficult task as well. That's right. I'm talking about the reincarnated Su Daji. This woman goes way back with Nuo. And she is destined to face some really special events in her life. She is going to be the one that guides you to a brand new path. The sooner you look for her, the greater the help she can offer you. Understood. I will definitely not forget about this. All right. I shall let you carry on with your training. If nothing gets in my way, I should be back before Chinese New Year. By that time, I will give you something really special and I will be able to provide you with some guidance as well. After that, the image of the Prime of Tongtian started to fade off from Chen Xiaobei's mind. I bid you farewell, Saifu. After sending of the Prime of Tongtian, Chen Xiaobei regained his focus and returned back to his meditation. Before he realized, a few hours had passed. Phew! Slowly, Chen Xiaobei exhaled a mouthful of white gas and it spread to a few meters away from him and lingered in the air for quite a long time. Ding! Cultivation, pinnacle phase of Qi refining stage. Health, 20,000. Combat power, 20,000. Upon receiving a notification from the Nether Spirit Battle Scouter, Chen Xiaobei's training finally came to an end. Huge success! Finally, I reached the cultivation that I desire for the longest time I can remember. Next, all I need to do achieve a great breakthrough. Following by that, Chen Xiaobei took out a sky-breaking cultivation pill from his treasure chest. The reason behind why Chen Xiaobei wanted to get to pinnacle phase of Qi refining stage as fast as possible was because the sky-breaking cultivation pill allowed him to achieve true nirvana stage within seconds. A lot of people in Jianghe were stuck in pinnacle phase of Qi refining stage for a very long time and they just could not figure out a way to advance their cultivation. Countless people were stuck in the phase called half-step true nirvana cultivation. Even a genius like Luo Puti was forced to stop at pinnacle phase of Qi refining stage for a very long time. However, with just a small piece of sky-breaking cultivation pill, Chen Xiaobei could get to true nirvana cultivation instantly. No effort was needed. No time was wasted. This was going to be awesome. Break it. Immediately, Chen Xiaobei broke a small piece of sky-breaking cultivation pill and put it into his mouth. Immediately, the effect of the pill took place. It began to strengthen his Danshan and transformed his body into true nirvana form. With his combat power being increased tremendously, he would achieve true nirvana cultivation in no time. Ding! Cultivation, true nirvana. Health, 30,000. Combat power, 30,000. I did it. Finally, I have achieved true nirvana cultivation. I'm no longer a weakling. Chen Xiaobei's blood started to rush with excitement. One's strength would always determine the person's flow in Jianghu. The higher the combat power, the easier to step on top of the food chain. This was the rule that was never going to change. From the beginning till now, Chen Xiaobei had always wanted to become more powerful. He wanted higher combat power to deal with enemies that were more powerful than him and prepare for his future. It was only natural that he felt happy about it at this very moment. 30,000 combat power. With the help of Witch King Combat Enhancement Training Manual, I will be able to boost my combat power to 33,000. If I manage to get to the top position in the Heroes of War leaderboard, I can totally imagine the surprised look on Luo Puti's face. Upon thinking about Luo Puti tried to convince him to quit Heroes of War martial art competition, Chen Xiaobei felt like laughing out loud. With his current strength, it was actually possible for him to get the top position. At the same time, he could prove himself to Luo Puti to capture her heart. This is the benefit of absolute strength. 33,000 combat power could definitely be put to good use. Other than combat power, I have received something more important. With a grin on his face, Chen Xiaobei channeled True Qi to his entire body and something magical happened. True Kong was formed. Chapter 716, None of My Business. Boom! Chen Xiaobei's Qi was so powerful that it shook the air. With his True Qi being channeled to his entire body, the air around him crystallized from gas to solid, materializing what he had in mind. Once True Kong materialized, it was actually more powerful than the real armor and weapon. Strange. My True Kong. Why is it transparent? Chen Xiaobei was struck by confusion and frustration. Normally, the True Kong of others looked like metal, frost, or even lightning. Definitely cooler than Chen Xiaobei's True Kong. It was as if his True Kong did not exist. I'm pretty sure that my True Kong has materialized. He swung his hand and felt a layer of armor being formed around his hand. It was definitely powerful enough to block any sword or saber. It could even deflect a bullet from a handgun. Why is it transparent? After regaining his composure, Chen Xiaobei came to a conclusion. Could it be this has something to do with the scripture of heaven and earth? Luo Puti and Xiaobei preferred Yang I's attribute spiritual qi. Tai Yitan from Miaozhong absorbed lightning attribute spiritual qi to train himself since he was a kid. Lastly, Xian Jiahe preferred gold attribute spiritual qi. All their True Kong could be seen with the naked eye. They focused on absorbing the type of spiritual qi that they prefer when they train themselves. As for me, I absorbed all kinds of spiritual qi when I trained with the scripture of heaven and earth. It allowed me to absorb all kind of spiritual qi effectively. That is why my True Kang's form could not be seen by the naked eye. That must be it. I have to restudy the scripture of heaven and earth. I think I will be able to look for the answer that I want. Immediately, Chen Xiaobei started to recall everything that he learned from the scripture of heaven and earth. When he first started training with it, all he did was memorize the scripture. He did not go deeper to discover more stuff from it. After thinking it through, he came to a realization. The scripture of heaven and earth is everything. At the same time, it is nothing, he exclaimed. First thought. Everything must go through evolution. Appearance. Form from your will. Reading the scripture out loud, something magical happened to Chen Xiaobei's Trukong. Wind beneath his feet. Frost formed around his leg. Water dragon circle around his hand. Greenwood formed around his arms. Soil started to gather on his stomach. His chest was flaming. The ball of lighting could be seen in his eyes. A chaotic aura was formed on top of his head. Damn! The scripture of heaven and earth is the most powerful creation of my Saifu. Who else can create something as powerful as this? Who else? Chen Xiaobei felt really excited after discovering something huge from it. Normally, one's Trukong only consists of one attribute. As for my Trukong, I can change to any kind of attribute with just a single thought. Immediately, Chen Xiaobei Trukong's was changed to lightning attribute after he put some thought into it. It was almost as powerful as Tai Yitan's Trukong. Following by that, he changed it to frost attribute. It was exactly like Luo Puti's Trukong. This is insane. When I combat with enemies, I can always choose the attributes that counter their attributes. In other words, I have the advantage with me when the enemies have the same combat power with me. By changing the attribute, it allows me to hide my true identity. No one can recognize me when I this special Trukong during stealth ops. The most important thing is by choosing a different attribute to counter my enemy can boost my combat power indirectly. With Scholar Heart, Chen Xiaobei discovered the many benefits that came with the scripture of heaven and earth. In the end, Chen Xiaobei found out that his combat power could be boosted to 39,000, double of his previous combat power. Other than that, his true nirvana cultivation could handle all kind of attributes. This breakthrough that he had this time was definitely beyond his expectation. Now, I need to deal with another problem. My health. I don't think 30,000 health can handle 39,000 combat power. Considering that the martial art competition is just around the corner, I have to give my health a boost as soon as possible. There's not much spiritual chi left inside my green jade gourd. I have to look a new source of spiritual chi as soon as possible to boost my health to 39,000. Ding! 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 Suddenly, Chen Xiaobei's cell phone rang non-stop. Actually, there were incoming messages that kept on bugging Chen Xiaobei earlier which he ignored. Zhangxia, Shidi Xiaobei, are you there? Zhangxia, Shidi Xiaobei, please reply my message as soon as possible. Zhangxia, Shidi Xiaobei. This is a life and death matter. Say something, please. Zhangxia's messages kept on popping up in Chen Xiaobei's cell phone. Clearly, he was desperate to get in touch with Chen Xiaobei. Damn! It seems like Saifu's plan has started working. The more desperate he is, the more I don't want to reply his messages. He was basking in joy when he took away all my merit points. Now, he wants to get in contact with me? No way! Dematerializing his Trukong, Chen Xiaobei proceeded to put his cell phone on silent mode. He then went and checked on his 3 pairs of mother-child voodoo worms. These 3 pairs of worms were not mature yet as more spiritual chi was needed to help with their growth. To Chen Xiaobei, spending a huge amount of spiritual chi on them was inevitable. Now, the lack of spiritual chi was his primary concern. Spiritual chi was needed to strengthen his body. Spiritual chi was needed to help with the growth of voodoo worms. Spiritual chi was needed to activate the soul-consuming enigmatic jade. Oh right! I can take advantage of Zhangxia's problem and ask him to give me a huge amount of spiritual chi. It's time for me to make him pay back for what he did to me. Hee hee. Zhangxia! Don't blame me for treating you badly. Immediately, Chen Xiaobei took out his cell phone and started to reply Zhangxia's messages. Chen Xiaobei, Shixing Zhang, what can I do for you? Zhangxia, damn! Finally! Shidi Chen, I've been waiting for you to reply me. Something bad happened and it's really serious. Chen Xiaobei, cut the crap and goes straight to the point. I'm a busy man. Zhang Zia, it's Lei Zhenzi. Earlier, he borrowed the divine whip from me. Somehow, he encountered an extremely powerful monster. And there is a crack on the divine whip after he used it to defeat the monster. Chen Xiaobei, why is it a big deal? Zhang Zia, Shidi Chen, I assume you have no idea about the origin of this weapon. The divine whip was given to me by Primordial Lord of Heaven. This weapon has always been the symbol of Chanism. Our reputation will be jeopardized if others find out that there is a crack on it. Lei Zhenzi and I will be punished severely if Primordial Lord of Heaven finds out about it. Chen Xiaobei, oh? It seems like this weapon is really valuable to you guys. What kind of punishment are you talking about? Zhang Zia, if it's just a light punishment, millions of merit points will be deducted from us and 1,000 hits from the divine flame enigmatic cane. As for the heavy punishment, we will be held in the ice and fire interdimensional realm for hundreds of years. The most important is our reputation in Chanism will be affected once others know that we are punished by the Primordial Lord of Heaven. Chen Xiaobei, he. That sounds really serious. Not only will the two of you be punished severely but also turn into the least important deities in Chanism. Zhang Zia, that's right. This matter is really serious. Chen Xiaobei, so, it is very serious. What does that have to do with me? Chapter 717, Killing 4 Birds with 1 Stone. That's none of my business. What the hell does that have anything to do with me? Zhang Zia was outraged when he heard this. He had spent the entire day confiding in and pleading to Chen Xiaobei. And the dismissive statement Chen Xiaobei gave to his state of distress was simply infuriating. Zhang Zia, Shidi Chen. Don't you think that you are being too unreasonable? Aren't we a family? I mean, we call ourselves Shidi and Shixing, doesn't that mean that we would help each other out when there's trouble? Chen Xiaobei, your mother is a whore. Should I tell everyone about it? Zhang Zia, you cursed my mum. I am your Shixing. You renegade. Angry face. Chen Xiaobei, me? A renegade? Zhang Zia, are you denying it? When the Prime of Tongtian comes back, I will make sure he reads this conversation so that he can teach you a thing or two. Chen Xiaobei, is your brain full of shit? When I was in trouble and needed red packets, you punished me instead. You even cleared out my merit points. Now that you are in trouble, you tell me that we are a family? We should help each other? What a joke! Zhang Zia, Chen Xiaobei, shut up. I am not done talking. You are the typical tyrant and you have the balls to show this conversation to my Saifu. Aren't you afraid that he will slap you in the face? Zhang Zia, Chen Xiaobei, I said shut up and listen. I know that you contacted me because you want the living soil from Lady Nuo. Only a divine material like this can repair the crack on the divine whip in a short period of time. Living soil is extremely invaluable, I won't give it to you just like that. Pay me 10,000 merit spiritual stones plus double the merit points that you have taken from me as compensation and I will give you a small piece of living soil. Otherwise, don't bother contacting me. Zhang Zia, 10,000 spiritual stones and double merit points? Why don't you just rob the bank? I will not give in. Angry face. 1 minute passed and there was no reply. Zhang Zia, Shidi Chen. I know that you are still reading this chat. Give me 1 piece of living soil and I will restore all of your previous merit points. I am being very sincere. If you refuse my offer then we'll have nothing to do with each other. Half an hour went by and not a single word. Zhang Zia, Shidi Chen, it is better for us to make peace rather than war between us. I will help recover your merit points, and give you 1,000 spiritual stones. I really can't give you more than that. If you don't agree to it, there's nothing more that I could do. determined face. 20 seconds later. Zhang Jia, Shidi Chen. Are you still there? Restore merit points plus 5,000 spiritual stones. I'm also very poor, crying face. 10 seconds later. Zhang Jia, Shidi Chen. Shidi Xiaobei. Please reply. Restore merit points, and 8,000. No. 10,000 spiritual stones. Loudly crying face. 5 seconds. Zhang Jia, Shidi Xiaobei. I can give you the spiritual stones but I cannot double the merit points. I simply cannot give you 1,080,000 merit points. Can we agree on an extra 300,000? Zhang Jia, fine. I'll do an extra 400. 500, 700,000. I'm already bleeding myself dry. I really cannot give you any more. 1 second later. Zhang Jia, all right. All right. I will comply. Double the original merits and 10,000 spiritual stones. Can you please reply my message? Face with open mouth and cold sweat. Face with open mouth and cold sweat. Face with open mouth and cold sweat. Zhang Jia, Shidi Chen, I've already replenished your merits and put the spiritual stones in a red envelope and sent them to you. Please collect them. Zhang Jia, Shidi Xiaobei. I beg you to please collect the red envelope. Zhang Jia, I hope you did not scam me. Face screaming in fear. Face screaming in fear. Face screaming in fear. Zhang Jia, Shidi Xiaobei. I beg you to please collect the red envelope. Mwahahaha, Chen Xiaobei watched the screen like he was watching the world's biggest joke. Every word that this idiot Zhang Jia said was a slap to his own face. He acted like he was in control, but when Chen Xiaobei kept quiet, he fell apart completely. Ding! You have received 2,160,000 merit points. Ding! Congratulations! You've been promoted to Philanthropist the 4th. Ding! You currently have 2,160,000 merit points. You need another 840,000 merit points to move up to the next level. Charm, 216,000. Luck, 216,000. Haha! My merit points are in. Sweet! Chen Xiaobei was very excited and praised, my Saifu is the best. This is really awesome. Clearly, everything that had happened up to this point was all thanks to the prime of Tongtian. Lei Zhenzi's divine whip was not destroyed by some monster but by the prime of Tongtian who did it conspiratorially. Zhang Jia was the owner of the divine whip. When it cracked, Chanism lost its face and Zhang Jia had to bear the responsibility. If the primordial Lord of Heaven found out about it, he would surely be punished severely. Zhang Jia definitely did not want to see that happen. He was the spokesperson of the primordial Lord of Heaven. In the heavenly realm, he was actually rather famous. Wherever he went to heaven, all the deities had to step down and let him sit in their chairs. As the saying goes, Zhang Jia is here and all the deities have to step down. The prime of Tongtian was right, Zhang Jia would never give up on this prominent and powerful position. That was why he would not dare to tell the primordial Lord of Heaven about the cracked whip. What's more, he had not done anything noteworthy recently, so he could not possibly ask for the living soil from Lady Nuo. His only way out was to ask for Chen Xiaobei's help. The whole thing went by smoothly as the prime of Tongtian had expected. All Chen Xiaobei had to do was put on an act and smack Zhang Jia's face. Successful retribution, double merits, and 10,000 spiritual stones as interest. This is the epitome of killing two birds with one stone. In fact, I killed three. Chen Xiaobei could not stop smiling to himself. With a tap, the red envelope on the screen opened with a ding. Ding! Congratulations! You've snatched Zhang Jia's red envelope. 10,000 spiritual stones have been deposited into your treasure chest. How timely is this? I was short of spiritual stone and I was able to exploit Zhang Jia for such a huge amount. Ahaha! Seeing this notification, Chen Xiaobei was excited. He got the spiritual stones at the time when he really needed it. This all summed up into one word: awesome. Ding! Zhang Zia, God Chen. You've received the red envelope, so please give me the living soil. Face with open mouth and cold sweat. Face with open mouth and cold sweat. Face with open mouth and cold sweat. Chen Xiaobei, don't worry, I'm a man of my word. Then, Chen Xiaobei took out the living soil, broke off a small piece and sent it in a red envelope. Zhang Zijia, that's great. I can finally get the living soil. Shidi Xiaobei, you must keep this a secret. I'm going to mend the divine whip. Bye. Keep it a secret? Ha! Chen Xiaobei's eyes lit up. I didn't just kill 3 birds. I killed 4. Chapter 718, Execute the Plan at Night. Zhang Zia violated the primordial law when he sent me the red envelope. Not only that, he's also one of the early spokespersons of Primordial Lord of Heaven. He basically broke the law he was entrusted to enforce. His punishment shall be tripled. Chen Xiaobei laughed wickedly and said, as long as I keep a copy of today's chat, I would have Zhang Zia in my hands. If he dares play dirty again, I will make sure that he would suffer even more serious consequences. Wahaha! Kill 4 birds with 1 stone. Sweet! Chen Xiaobei then took out the 10,000 spiritual stones that Zhang Zia had just sent from the treasure chest. Swoosh! In that instant, thousands of spiritual stones scattered onto the floor until they form a heap that covered nearly all of the surface of the room. Nice! I got 100,000 spiritual stones in one go. If these were to be converted into cash, I'd have 10 trillion cash. How awesome! Chen Xiaobei celebrated. He then took out the green jade gourd, held out his hand to the side and commanded, siphon. Whoosh! The green jade gourd immediately began to suck in the spiritual qi that was stored inside the spiritual stones. The spiritual qi was extremely pure and concentrated. It only took a minute to fill up the gourd. That means I won't have to worry about training anymore. Chen Xiaobei smiled to himself. But first I need a small target. I need to strengthen my body as fast as I can and crush the heroes of war martial art competition and win Puti's heart. No one can stop me. I must hurry and strengthen my body right now and take action tonight. It was still morning and Chen Xiaobei did not waste a second of it. He immediately drank a bottle of 100 herbs potion and stated to improve his health with Emperor Health Ultimate Enhancement skill. Currently, his maximum combat power was 39,000. But his body must be able to utilize such high combat power. If not, he would definitely be hurt by his own strength when he battled with others. As for tonight, Chen Xiaobei had everything planned out way beforehand. He wanted to sneak into Xianjian faction when the sun set. Firstly, Lu Shenyi cheated Chen Xiaobei with a fake dragon void sword. Today, he would have his revenge. Secondly, Chen Xiaobei had always suspected that Lu Shenyi was doing something fishy in Xianjian faction. Puti had told him that it would be difficult for Lu Yi to get into the top 3 positions on the Heroes of War leaderboard. Chen Xiaobei, on the other hand, believed that there was a chance that Lu Shenyi might surprise everyone with what he could do. Chen Xiaobei really wanted to win, so he had to go see for himself. After all, as Sun Tzu said, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. There was at least half a day before night falls. Chen Xiaobei had to increase his health immediately. At Dragon City's renowned hospital. In a private room, Tang Yunchen lay unconscious on the bed. He had not woken up since he had his butt kicked by Tai Yitan. There were 2 people sitting by the window. Hai Linbei complained, looking extremely pissed, "Bother Juxiao. You knew that Chen Zufeng's power is formidable, but you didn't stop us from challenging him. Isn't that an ass move?" Zhuang Juxiao wore a dignified look on his face and said, "Stop grumbling. Promise that I will give each of you a spiritual stone." "This is not about the spiritual stone. We nearly died. Did you know that?" Are you saying that our lives are worth only 2 spiritual stones? Hai Lin Bei asked grimly. 1 spiritual stone is worth 1 billion. I could use that money to hire an S-ranked assassin. Allowing you to die is giving you face. Zhuang Juxiao said aggressively, in fact, the both of you are still alive, aren't you? If you keep complaining, I will end all relations with you. You, Hai Lin Bei was lost for words. He was so angry that he wanted to stab Zhuang Juxiao with a knife. Unfortunately, Hai Lin Bei was merely saying it. In reality, he would not have done it. Zhuang Juxiao was the most talented member in the history of the Zhang family. He was also nicknamed as Zhang family's #1 genius. The Zhang family saw Zhuang Juxiao as an investment who, in the future, would assist the family heir Zhuang Bifan. That alone was more than enough a reason to render Hai Lin Bei speechless. Fine. This time we'll overlook it this time, give me the spiritual stone and we'll consider it a truce. Hai Lin Bei could only concede. He had wanted to grumble and whine, but it was more important to be paid first. There was nothing else he could do. However, if he were to face off with Zhang Juxiao, things might turn ugly. There's no rush. I still some questions for you. Zhuang Juxiao asked, how strong is that kid? Kid? Do you mean Chen Zufeng? Hai Lin Bei knitted his brows together and said, his strength is immeasurable. Without channeling True Kong to his body and the help of formation or talisman, he could summon lightning out of nowhere. That was purely magical. Summon lightning with just sheer will. Zhang Juxiao asked, do you mean that he could manipulate celestial phenomena? Lightning attribute phenomena. That's right. That kind of lightning is very overbearing. Before Chen Zufeng could lift a finger, the young witch master from Miaozhong had already surrendered to him. Hai Lin Bei confirmed. That's not right. Situ Hongfeng once said that Chen Zufeng was capable of manipulating wind attribute celestial phenomena. Wind and lightning are 2 different attributes. One can only choose one attribute focus on during the training. It is not possible for a person to manipulate 2 different attributes, said Zhuang Juxiao. What do you mean by that? Hai Lin Bei said bewildered. I suspect that Chen Zufeng is playing a trick on you guys, Zhuang Juxiao said certainly, let me test him one more time. Are you sure? You really want to test him? That's gambling with life. Hai Lin Bei swallowed and said, I will definitely not go. Chen Zufeng is not an ordinary person. Humph. I've never had any hope on you, you coward. Zhuang Juxiao said viciously, this time, I will come up with a thorough plan. I must tear that kid's mask off. So that everyone can his true colors. Night came. Chen Xiaobei put on the Night Stalker outfit, leaped onto the somersault cloud and snuck into Xianjian faction. With Qi Yuding becoming his undercover in Xianjian faction, Chen Xiaobei had already gotten his hands on the blueprints and he had even memorized it by heart. Familiar the buildings in and out, and with him being invisible, Chen Xiaobei successfully infiltrated one of the oriental-designed bedrooms. Lu Xinyi's bedroom. According to Qi Yuding's observation, every night at this hour, Lu Yiyi would be asleep for a while. When midnight came, he would then wake and bring Lu Suingzhen to the forbidden ground to train himself. Zzz, Lu Xinyi was in deep sleep on the bed, the real dragon void sword was placed next to his pillow. Judging from the look of it, one could know that this was the weapon that ranked 3rd on 10 most powerful weapon in China. To Lu Xinyi, this weapon was more important than his life. He kept it by his side 24/7 even when he was sleeping, eating or shitting, it would not be more than 1 meter away. But from today onwards, Lu Xinyi would never see his baby ever again. Chen Xiaobei came prepared. Immediately, he took the sword and kept in his treasure chest. At the same time, he slipped the fake sword next to Lu Yiyi. "Ha! I want to see how this bastard will fare wielding a fake sword." Chen Xiaobei laughed. Suddenly, he crinkled his brows and shifted his attention to the door. "Someone's coming." Chapter 719, Solid Evidence. Young Master. Time's up. It's time to wake up. Someone outside raised his voice in a polite manner with no intention of entering the room. Swoosh! Lu Xunyi got up instantly after being alerted. The first thing that he did was holding onto the Dragon Void Sword. Clearly, this weapon was Lu Xunyi's treasure. Upon seeing that, Chen Xiaobei could not help but laugh aloud in his heart. Some time ago, Lu Xunyi used a fake Dragon Void Sword to fool Chen Xiaobei. Today, Chen Xiaobei did the same to him. Surprisingly, he did not realize that he was holding a fake Dragon Void Sword. He would only find out about it when he steps into a battlefield. By that time, it was not hard to imagine that he was going to cough out a mouthful of warm blood. "I'm coming." After responding to the person that asked him to wake up, he put on his training clothes and left his bedroom right away. Walking toward the mountain behind Xianjian faction, Lu Xunyi arrived at the Forbidden Ground. With the help of the moonlight, a 7-floored pagoda surrounded by forest was in sight. The atmosphere around it was solemn and stern. Ordinary people definitely would not dare to step foot in this area. Beneath the pagoda was the spiritual pulse of this mountain. All the spiritual qi within the mountain would pass through this spot. Seemingly, the size of this spiritual pulse was 10 times bigger than the one beneath Beixian faction. The spiritual qi at this place was definitely more concentrated, pure, and rich. The ancestors of Xianjian faction were really wise. Building a faction on top of this land made possible for the Lu family to not worry about the resources that are needed to make them more powerful. It is no wonder that Lu family is so powerful today. If my Beixian faction possesses a land like this, I will definitely invite all my friends and even